Hey everyone, it's Jill the Wandering Stamper, and I hope you're having a fabulous day today. I have been working on some cards for an upcoming craft fair that I'm participating in, and I was making a card layout that I thought was perfect to share with all my online friends. So I'm going to take a moment to turn down the camera and we'll get started. Thanks so much for joining me today. Here's what we're working with today to create our card. I don't even know what this card layout is called, but I have been making lots and lots of cards with it, and I thought, you know what, this is so simple that I want to share it. I pulled out the Country Flower stamp set because I really love the stamp set, and I haven't used it for a little bit. I've been using so much of the Celebration and mini catalog items, but I wanted to bring this out because everyone loves it, and it's super fun to color the flowers in, so I wanted to have some coloring time today. So that's why we're using that, and of course the coordinating dies. And then I'm playing around with using the Spring Corners for these cards, which worked out perfectly. Spring Corners is an online exclusive. There is a bundle with dies. I love these dies. And just so you know, if you happen to be fortunate enough to grab the Celebration set Corner in Bloom, this will coordinate really well with the Spring Corners. So if you have that, you can create a card with both of those together and it would be fabulous, especially with all these extra elements. So that's what we're using. And then I'll be embellishing with some white ribbon and some of these antique pearls. I love these antique pearls. And then we are creating our base with Poppy Parade. And then I pulled some designer series paper from Country Woods and from Country Lace. And then I've already colored and die cut some elements to use on the front of my card. So that's it. That's everything. And we are going to create the most amazing card. So let's get started on that. Let me grab my paper trimmer. And we are going to start out with our card base. Our card base is going to be a standard 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. I've seen this color combo has popped up on my Pinterest feed lately, and I think it was the universe telling me make this card because the colors just really caught my eye. And I don't know if it's because I'm a 4th of July baby and I was just always kind of a patriotic kid because of my birthday, or if I just love these colors. Who knows? I used to think, until I was older, I used to think the fireworks were for my birthday every year. I did not realize it was a holiday until I was probably 7 or 8 years old. So I've always loved my red, white, and blue. All right, so we have 2 layers, front and back, or front and inside, 4 by 5 1/4. So I've got those cut. Now, what I loved about this card layout is you can use scraps. So we have scraps here, and this is a great way to use up some of your scraps in your craft area. Figure out what you have scraps and what goes together, and you can create some really great cards. So our designer series paper, we're going to need 1 7/8 by 2 1/2, and we'll want 4 of those. Now, if you have a direction that you need it to be mindful of that. So I want my wood grain to go up and down, so I'm going to have 1 7/8. And I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 because I don't think I have enough on one panel for 4. So you can cut 2 pieces of designer series paper at once. So 1 7/8 by 2 1/2. And again, you want 4 of those. Now I think you could also do 1 7/8 by 5 and just cut 2 because as I'm going to show you in a minute, you don't really see the middle gap in these very much, so you probably could get away with a shortcut. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it would work out just fine. Now you want a square, which you're going to turn into a diamond, and that is going to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Now if you wanted to, you could make it 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, and you could add a piece of cardstock behind it and make that 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So there's a lot of things you can do to change up this fun layout. All right, so those are all the pieces that we need. That's basically what's going to go on the card. So I'm going to go ahead and do some stamping. I'm grabbing my Misty because I like to use this for these corners. It helps me make sure that my corners are exactly where I want them. So I grabbed the piece that says what does it say? Always in your corner. I really like that. So you want to be mindful of the size of your square because they're all different size sayings. So it's much like the arch dies that we have. Certain sayings go with certain size arches. Well, it's the same way with these corners. Certain sizes work better. When you're working with a small square, any of them will work on a normal piece of card layer, like a 4 and 4 by 5 and a quarter. All right, so let's go ahead and ink this up. I'm going to use some Night of Navy because I want it to be nice and dark. And Night of Navy is close enough to the Misty Moonlight. So I've inked that up. And I'm going to put this on there. Look how nice and crisp that came out, and it's perfectly aligned. And that's why I like using that Misty sometimes, is I struggle with making sure that those words are not too far away from the edge of the cardstock. So I'm just going to pop this over here and we'll clean it later. Now for the inside of the card, since I have this out, I might as well go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to grab the stamp that says Through the Happy and Sad. This is going to be a sympathy card. Unfortunately, I do have a sympathy card that I need to mail, so we'll make this one sympathy. And I just stood up to make sure it's positioned straight. And I'm going to go, oops, moved my platform. I'm going to go ahead and ink this up again with the same color, with the Night of Navy. All right, perfect. And then I'm going to pop this off and put this off to the side to clean. And then I'm going to grab this little shape, this little texture element. I don't know what you would call it. They're just little stripes. And I'm going to put this in the corner. So I'm just going to get it as straight as I can. And I'm going to pull in some of that Poppy Parade, because that's the color of our cardstock base. So I'm going to ink that up. I am not an affiliate with My Sweet Petunia, but I love some of their products. And this is why I love this one, because as you can see, I didn't quite press down in the corner enough. So I can ink this up again and add one more press. And look at that. So now it's better. So it helps you fix your boo-boos if you have a boo-boo, which I frequently have a boo-boo. So, all right. So that's it for the stamping. Let's go ahead and put this card together. So we have our base. And then to our base is our white piece of cardstock. But whatever card you decide to make, you just want to make sure whatever you put on top of your card base is a bold color that's going to contrast with your little rectangles that you cut, okay? Because you want them to pop out. So that's why I chose, for this card, I chose basic white. Smoky slate would work well. I was going to say going gray. I think that's an old color. Smoky slate would work as well. Maybe a pale pink would work. Just figure out what you like. And then you're going to put these on with just a small, narrow margin all the way around. And you just want to make sure that your heights are the same. You don't want a wonky card, which is why I use the liquid glue. It gives me a second to adjust my layers if I need to. Okay, and I'm going to put this so this layer looks like this. So I'm just adding all my layers, making sure everything's lined up. This paper's so pretty. I really enjoy it. And I'm hoping it stays around, because I want to buy some more. Okay, that looks good. So now we have our piece of country lace that we already stamped on, and this is going to go right here. So as you can see, you almost completely cover up these gaps. So if you wanted to, I mean, you could totally do 1 7/8 by 5 and do 2 strips and cover that up. I mean, it almost completely covers, so I don't think anybody would ever notice if there wasn't a gap there. So that's a little shortcut that you can do if you want to. I'm all about the shortcuts sometimes. Sometimes they work out to our benefit. All right, so I'm going to just layer that on there, adjust it just a little bit so it's all centered, just like that. And so now we just go ahead, let's go ahead and add this to the front of the card base. As you can see, this would be a really easy card to do lots of at once. So you could do a little assembly line and make it birthday or whatever you need. Look ahead. What cards do you need to send? This is a great assembly line card. All right, so that's layered on there. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. It was just simply die cut with Poppy Parade paper. There is a really cute stamp in the stamp set that says Flower Market, I believe. That would be really cute stamped on here. I just left mine plain. And then here are the flowers, but I think we're going to put those on with dimensionals to give them a little bit of elevation. Where is my Take Your Pick tool? Did I drop it? Here it is. Sometimes things mysteriously jump off my counter. Does that happen to you? Things just fall off and I find them randomly. Thankfully, I don't have a dog that will go and take things I drop, so some people I know have dogs that if they found craft supplies, they would chew them up, and I'm so lucky I don't have that dog because he would have a heyday in here. All right, let's just go ahead and add this. And let me tell you, the way I colored these, I used Poppy Parade, Misty Moonlight, and Smoky Slate. And then I use the alcohol blend, so I use the darker shade for emphasis. Now this white flower in the middle, all I did was outline it in Smoky Slate, and then I took the color lifter, which is fabulous for so many things, and I colored over the gray with the color lifter, so it gave it kind of a subtle little hint of shading, and I think it came out so pretty. So there's that. Let's go ahead and add a ribbon to the front. I'm not a ribbon tire, but we're gonna hope for the best here. That looks pretty good. We'll give it a little trim. You wouldn't imagine the mess I've made next to me. There's such a pile of stuff. I can't believe it hasn't fallen over. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here, I think. Let's make this bow a little smaller. That's kind of cute. And I like to use 2 glue dots. I feel like 2 helps it stick better in the mail than 1. So a lot of time I'll just add 2. So there's that, and let's go ahead and add some of these antique pearls. I love these antique pearls. So, so pretty. Let's put a small one in the middle of this flower. And maybe we'll put one here. Put one right there. All right. That looks good enough. So here's our, oh, we didn't put our inside in. Let's put our inside in. Can't wait to show you the other samples. I had a lot of fun with this today, which I wasn't planning on making a video today, but I thought, you know what? Why not? All right. As you can see, I smudged some glue over here. This little tool, I've had this thing for probably 20 years. I mean, it lasts forever. But if you get a little glue, you just rub it on there and it takes the glue right away and you have no sticky spot. So there's our card, always on in your corner through the happy and sad. Such a pretty card. Let me show you my other samples. This is the same exact layout with the Terrific Toadstool stamp set. Love it. Love Terrific Toadstools. And the Designer Series paper, it was a celebration offering. I know celebration is just about over. If it's available and you love it, grab it before it's gone. You have just a couple of days, but this paper is so sweet, and I love the mushrooms. And I fussy cut all of these mushrooms. I didn't even use my coordinating punch. I just went ahead and fussy cut, and it says, "Popping up to say hi, you are magical." Love it. I haven't even embellished it yet. It's so cute just the way it is. So there's our second card. And then this last card was super, super simple. I used soft seafoam, blueberry bushel, and the beautiful Designer Series paper from Wildflower Birthday. I didn't even stamp this on the front. I just used the little dies, the die cut pieces that come in the paper pack. So this beautiful cake was part of the paper pack. I popped it out, put it on there with dimensionals, and added some flat, what are they called? I just had them out. I don't know what I did with them. They're low profile dots. That's what they're called. Low profile dots. And I used the gold because there's gold detailing in here. And then I used some Night and Navy ribbon I had left over because it matches the blueberry bushel just pretty well. And this is, again, all scraps that I had in the paper pack. Inside, I simply stamped Happy Birthday with the birthday celebration stamp and then added a couple more of those little punch-out elements from the Designer Series paper. This card came together in just minutes and minimal products, and it's just so, so pretty. So there are 3 samples of this fun little layout, and you can use this layout for masculine cards, feminine cards, kids cards, anything. So I love a good layout that can help you create lots of cards quickly and easily. So I hope you like this one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't already subscribe, and hit that bell so that you get notification of my new upcoming videos. Also, don't forget you can click below to get to my blog. That will have instructions for cutting, scoring, and what products I use for each of these samples, so that if you want to recreate it, you can go there and find out all of the details. Again, I'm Jill the Wandering Stamper. Take some time to craft today. It really feeds the soul. And I hope to see you next week. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.